Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. It's Keeping Up with Kay. If you know my name stand for, now you know. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how I passed my CNA test. Let's get into it. So first, I'm just going to explain what I did to take my test. So I didn't take a CNA class. I am a nursing student. So once I finished my first semester nursing school, I sent in this form. My clinical instructor, she filled out the information about all of the courses that we took. And then I had to fill out my personal information and send that form into area in Madison, plus with my my transcript to prove that I took these courses. Hopefully I remember to insert the form that I'm talking about. I sent that in on a Wednesday. I think it was right before Memorial Day, so I did have to wait a little bit of a while. It took probably a week and a half. So I sent it on a Wednesday. The next Wednesday rolled around, they still haven't gotten back to me. But that following Monday, they got back to me and they made me a account so that I could sign up to take my test. So once they made that account for me, I logged into the website and then I signed up to take my test. So I scheduled my skills test and my knowledge test together. It was about $125 in the state of Wisconsin. The knowledge test is about $32, and then the skills test is $93. So then I scheduled my knowledge test. I took it June 7th. So for the knowledge test, there was about 75 questions, I want to say. We had an hour to take it. And to pass the test, you have to get at least a 71% on your test. The knowledge test was very straightforward. It was pretty simple. I got I think I got an 85% on it. So to prepare for that, I just looked up CNA practice tests. Just searched that on Google, scrolled around and found some practice tests and just went through it. I also found this Quizlet for the CNA knowledge test. So I did that. I practiced with those type of things. I wasn't really worried about that part of the test because honestly, that's probably going to be the easier part versus the skills test. So that's basically all I did to prepare for it. And also a lot of the things on the test should be already in your background knowledge. So yeah, you don't really have to spend too much time preparing for that. All right, y'all, so now let's talk about the skills test. I was really nervous before I took mine. I took it on, I want to say the 23rd of June. I was really nervous before I went, and I did vlog that. So if y'all want to watch that video, go check that out. So for my state, you need at least an 80% to pass your skills test. You got to do 80% of the necessary steps, and you can't miss a mandatory step. So if you miss a mandatory step, you automatically fail. And the mandatory steps are they're regarding safety. So if you miss that, you could obviously, hurt somebody. So that's kind of why. So for my state, first thing I did was look at the handbook. So you should be able to search your state in their search handbook. Whatever state you live in, search their handbook. Find that. So I went on their website. I found that CNA handbook. I scrolled down, and they have all of the skills listed out that we could be tested on and just a lot of information about that. So I first went and looked at all of my skills and seeing what could possibly be on my test. So there was 17 skills. A lot of other states I've seen that they should have 20 or 22 skills, but for my test it was only 17 skills, 17 possible skills, and then there was 4 mandatory first steps. So the 4 mandatory first steps means that's one of these 4 skills you're definitely going to get. And at the end, it's required for you to actually wash your hands instead of just using hand sanitizer. So for ours, it was peri-care, catheter care, assisting a resident with a bedpan, and then emptying a urinary bag. All right, y'all, so I would just read through the skill on the handbook. Once I read through that skill in the handbook, I would actually perform the skill on my teddy bear. That was my fake resident, and I would use stuff I had around my room to use as props or whatever. And then after I'm done performing the skill, I would just get my notebook out, my big notebook, not this one, but I would get my notebook out and write down each step. and then I would practice maybe another time. So I did 3 skills. I practiced for like a week before the test. I did 3 skills a day, sometimes 4 skills. And once I was done with the skills, I wrote down every last skill that could possibly be on the test. And for the 4 mandatory skills, I wrote those on slips of paper, and I put it in a separate box, and then the other skills I had in another one. So I would just take one out of the 4 mandatory skills, and then I would take like 3 more out of the other box, and I would just practice those skills off the fly. Practicing the skills over and over really helped me. If you can practice on a real person, that would be helpful too, but certain skills you probably wouldn't want to practice on somebody, like the period care, like that type of thing. But I just practiced over and over. And also, another thing I did that helped was I watched YouTube videos of people demonstrating how to do the skills. There were certain skills like I just couldn't imagine how it would look, so I had to watch a video about it. The channel that I watched was called For Your CNA. So y'all should definitely check out those videos. I feel like those are very helpful, and the way they perform the skills is kind of similar to what was in the handbook. So yeah, that's another thing. Make sure that you write down what needs to be performed from your handbook, because they might do something different in the video, or they might not do a certain step that's in your handbook. So make sure you're referencing your handbook as well. For when I took my test, my first step skill that I had to do was assisting a resident with the bedpan. Then I had to do the positioning to the side laying. Then I did range of motion for the hip and knee. And what was the last one? Oh, the stand and pivot into a wheelchair. So for the last 3 skills, I got 100% on those. And in the first skill, I think I got like an 87%. There was so for our handbook, like when you're doing the bedpan, assisting a resident with the bedpan, you have to bring them a towel to like wash their hands. That was the part that I forgot. Because like all the other skills, like you never have to worry about washing their hands. You have to worry about washing your hands. And that just kind of, I don't know, that just, that's the one skill that they're kind of like doing on their own. So I don't know, I would forget when I was practicing, and I ended up forgetting when I was doing it, but I still passed, so it don't matter. So for like positioning a resident on their side, like when I read those steps, I had to like read out everything that is said in the handbook. I was like really confused. I'm trying to like imagine how this skill would be performed by reading from that, because we never did nothing like that in nursing school or talked about that type of topic. So watching those YouTube videos, that really helped me just visualize how the skill should be performed. I just felt like it was just so awkward to do, but I got 100%, so I must have did it right. All right, so to recap, for the knowledge test, I used online practice tests, and then I used Quizlets. And for my skills test, I used the CNA handbook. I watched For Your CNA YouTube videos, and then I wrote down all the skills on a slip of paper and just pulled them out of a hat and practiced on my teddy bear. That's basically it, y'all. So don't be nervous. It's really not that hard to pass a test. You just got to make sure you're properly prepared. I was going to take my skills test the same day I took my knowledge test, with only 2 days to prepare. I'm glad I didn't do that, because I don't know, I don't even think I knew about the handbook at that point. But good luck on you guys' test. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.